taking someone out is considered the best form of support in a dementia unit, and especially those outings that are close to the outings that you had before you came into the dementia unit are the favourites. Walking, of course, is always good, but if you've enjoyed going to the beach or walking to the park or, sitting at the seaside, then either of those activities, any of those activities, especially it being a favourite activity, will be a marvellous experience, because it's not just being out in the fresh air and the sunshine and having the company of your friend or your partner, but also it's getting that respite break, that break away from that institutionalised, confinement, which is what dementia units are. If you're not used to being in an institution, you've been in your own home all your life, you've led your own life, you've exercised a lot, and then you're confined to just one big unit, then it's extremely distressing. Whereas if you can have these social, supportive visits and especially outings, that goes a long way to being able to adjust and assimilate in a dementia unit. And it's really important to actually be open-minded in our thinking in terms of the capacities of people with dementia. I mean, of course they've got memory loss, but they have a vast range of abilities. There was one example I'll give, it's actually not in the dementia unit I worked at, but regarding a friend of mine, her daughter, her partner had dementia, and the daughter was very good with her father and used to dance with him every day, and to the 80s music, all the ABBA and You Are My Sunshine and Michael Jackson and whatever, all the 80s songs they used to dance to every night. So this guy, who was fit anyway because he was a surfer and he loved the beach and he loved running, so he kept his balance and fitness through dancing with his daughter every night. Now, that of course is a big achievement in itself, but they both enjoyed it, so they didn't consider it arduous. It was a fun activity, and it was posted online and all the rest of it. But the even more remarkable thing was that this guy, when he had come to the advanced dementia stage, quite advanced, it was really only just a couple of months before he passed away, because of his strength and fitness, his daughter was able to take him down to the beach, not only walk him along the beach, but if you can believe it, he was running down the sandhills in Ugg boots as well. Now, I wouldn't have actually believed it unless I'd witnessed it online, that he was strong enough and fit enough to run down sandhills in Ugg boots laughing. Now, actually, when you're in your 60s, it's pretty difficult to do that anyway, let alone without dementia. But here he was running down the sandhills, happy as Larry, because he had strong fitness anyway, and his daughter and the dancing, and she used to take him running up and down the sandhills every second day. What a marvellous activity. So he had all that happiness, all that company, all that joy, and he kept his fitness right up to the end. So you don't witness this in dementia units, of course, because it's all flat. There's no gyms, there's no exercise equipment, there's only exercise classes, which are sitting exercises and pretty passive. Certainly nothing like running up and down sandhills. But I just mentioned that example to give you an idea of what is possible with people with dementia, and that we do need to extend our horizons. Now, in terms of social support and taking people out, the two risks, of course, are, from the establishment's perspective, are falls and getting lost. Well, of course, you don't want the person to fall and you don't want the person to get lost. But when you think about it, an 80, 90-year-old lady falling is a lot bigger risk than a 60-year-old or a 70-year-old falling. And many of these dementia residents would rather have, the chance to get out, even if there is a risk of falling, rather than staying inside a confined situation. But probably to cover the grounds best is, if you're a partner, of course, you can go arm in arm, and that solves the problem of getting lost because they're with you as a unit It stops the problem of if they trip and fall, you can easily catch them. So if you're a partner, that's fine, doing arm in arm. As a child, of course, you can hold mum arm in arm without any problems. But there is the situation with some men that come into the dementia unit who are single, no children. They've got male friends, but their male friends feel conscious of going arm in arm with them. Maybe not round the retirement village where it's more normalised, but outside. But really, if this can be overcome, you know, somehow overcoming that, just being at ease with that, because then it means that you can go arm in arm with your friend and walk along the boulevard or along the beach, and they can have a wonderful time. They're not going to be bothered about walking arm in arm with you. But if you can overcome that barrier and walk arm in arm with your friend, take them on a beautiful outing from the dementia unit, walking along in the sand and the sunshine, having a coffee, just imagine that. Just imagine how far that goes to being able to enable that person to build their resilience living in a dementia unit. And this is the way that people do build their resilience, and they do. Those residents that are supported and taken out and, you know, still with the exercise and the activities that they've enjoyed, they do settle, they do adjust, and they can do well. But if not, especially when they're younger, if not supported and being unable to get outside, it's an impossible feat, practically an impossible feat. Some elderly residents with maturity, wisdom, and maybe not so much yearning and burning to get outside can adjust. I've seen that without support. But younger residents, I haven't seen it yet. Younger dementia residents being able to adjust when they haven't got that support, especially when they've been fit and active and enjoyed the outdoors and not being able to. It's too hard. Especially for units that are up on the first floor and haven't got an area to be able to walk around in, as in the place I was at, was just a pocket handkerchief veranda. You couldn't actually walk around outside on the veranda because it was too small. So if the place has a big area outside that the person can walk in, with the grass and the trees and the birds, that's a different situation. That's a much improved situation. But if it's a totally confined area without any decent outdoor space, it's too hard for people. So just to have this empathy and understanding for these people in dementia units and realising the range and assessing where your friend and family member is at, so as to be able to help them as a team effort, you know, for the family and others to help and support. So I've written about these subjects at length in The Resident's Voice from a Dementia Unit and The Resident's Rise from a Dementia Unit, both on Amazon and my website, pietavalentine.com. So please subscribe and pass on the links. Thank you.